Watch it be a, watch it be a counter flan who murders me. Ah, it worked out. Show me more BBKs. I love BBK teams. There's one. Did anyone tell you that your top hat looks like Caitlyn's from League of Legends Arcane? Oh shit, she is wearing a hat. I didn't notice she even had a hat on. I wonder why. It's a lot of immunity. Welcome, Yan, Cold Sight, Skywalker. Good to see you guys. Show me defense break. And I always get the bomb and not the defense. Oh. I kind of do too, show, but it is what it is. Shit. Do we have a problem here, guys? Where's Says on this bar? Says goes first. So I get to blow this up, and I get to kill this. This kind of just wipes my team. I'm gonna have to hope that the Says bomb blows up that Harsetti. I'll just shoot this in the face, because that's gotta die. Any news about will Lua work if they pick Mort? Lua makes everybody on your team counterattack. Mort keeps people from counterattacking. So no, Mort will stop Lua. Unless the wording says that she makes their skills activate instead of she lets them counterattack. They're very specific on words. If they use the word counterattack in her kit, then it won't work. If they use the word skills activate, then it will work the same way like Seaside Bologna and Lone Crescent Bologna work, right? Bye, Ruel. Is Lua a must pull or a skip? Right now she's feeling like a skip. But give it a week. Let's let the chefs cook. Let's see how well she fits into the meta. She looks really, really, really fun. She looks really, really, really strong, but I'm not sure her kit's going to be meta. I think there's a lot of things that counter her. I think she's going to be a blast to use, and it's a really good-looking unit. I'm going to pull for her, but if you are low on Mystics and you're thinking, what if ML Hua Young is next and she's the new ML Landy, she's the new ML Luna, she's the new Harsetti, right? Well, she's the new best thing. Maybe you wait and see how Lua pans out. Give it about a week, maybe 2 weeks, and see where she fits in, and then make an informed decision. You got a whole 3 weeks to decide on whether or not you're going to get Lua. And trying to predict how good she is not nearly as useful as just waiting and seeing how good she is, and then deciding whether or not to pull her. Now, if you're trying to decide, do I pull one of the current ML5s, or do I do I save for Lua? That's a tougher decision, and all I got for you on that is all of the current ML5s you can get from Headhunt. So, yeah, Bologna's a clapback. It's a skill activation. This looks like a job for the vampire girl. Says in his babysitter club. The 8% in her kit's nice in this night meta. True. The G-Perg passive. Not super slow. I think we're fine. She's pretty far back. Take a chunk out of Harsetti just in case it's an Arius. I've seen some people put Arius on this unit. Okay, good. It's not Arius. We're fine. Did you know that the profile card Hero Chibi thing, Schneal, is the Fire Warrior? Did you know in the profile card Hero Chibi thing, Schneal is in the oh, is he? That's funny. I'll take a look at that and report it. Okay, you get this. Man, I saw a Hillig's Lance Mort. That was the most toxic thing. That was just terrible. It was a Hillig Lance Mort, and it was an Idol's Cheer Ruel. Some people just weren't hugged enough as kids. Is Schneal bait? When is anything in this game ever not bait, Grader? Everything is bait. Oh, Wretched Rose Chibi is listed as a light knight. Wretched Rose is a light knight, is she not? Do you think Sage Vivian is worth the ML coins? I've been waiting on Bride Senya and ML Ilanov. You're going to be waiting a while for those two to hit the coin shop. Probably on the order of a year for those two to hit the coin shop. They've not even had a rerun yet. They're very, very, very recent ML5s. I think if you're saving coins just for Senya and Ilanov, you'll probably get 40 coins again before those guys hit the shop. If that helps taint your decision. ML Vivian, Sylvan Sage, is really, really, really good and one of the hardest units to build. If you can build her, she is worth the pickup, but make sure you can build her before you drop coins and get a unit that you don't have the capability of building. Find somebody else with the same Zodiac sign and the same class, and see if you can build Sylvian. If you can, then she's a great pickup, especially in this control meta. She's very, very strong. Yo, who should I cop Holy Sack? Should I cop Holy Sack with powder? I've been thinking about it too, and the only reason I haven't is I'm just so convinced a collab is any day now. I know I've been saying that for weeks, but I gotta save my powder for a collab already. But Holy Sack is really, really, really good. Yeah, I would wait until it's naturally in the shop for 180. I'm not sure I would drop 240 on it. No BBKs. Everybody's Harsetti. Oh, not everybody is Harsetti. Can we cleave this one, guys? Is this cleavable? ES3's in this, which doesn't do anything. She's soul burns. Push, 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 push. Even with Yuffine. I think we cleave this one. I would like a second Alexa's basket. Wasn't it 80? 180? Okay, so if the artifact is in the shop because there's a banner going on, it's 240. If it's in the shop because it's just part of the powder shop rotation, then it's 180. So it's in the shop for 240 because Crow is currently on banner. Oh Lord, nuts to get rerun. I need 3F. Of all of them, it's the most likely to rerun of all of them. And I hope it does. Mostly because I want to see them buff Ainz. Don't be on Soul Consolation, Ray. Don't be that guy. I guess that would have activated with Luna, so we're fine. Okay, we'll just do this. And then we do this. Burn, and we kill you. Blammo. And then you're back. And then we kill everything. I love this team. I love this team! I'm so sad I don't get to use this team more often. Having 3F would change my headhunt pick to Senya. 3F's crazy strong. I wish I had picked up additional ones. I got 2. I wish I had picked up 4. Who do I get between ML Politis, ML Yuffine, and ML Haste Politis? Is it worth buying tags from the powder shop, or should I hold for... Oh, that's a hard one. That's a real hard one. I'm not gonna lie. I dropped like 300 powder, 300 or 400 powder in a tags book once upon a time. This is how important I think tags book is. Get the picture? So I went nuts on it when it was in the shop. More than once. But I also play cleave and aggro a lot. So books are very important to me in the way I play. Yeah. If you want to start spending powder to build your Library of Congress, go for it. But, just be aware that, you know, why don't you do it? Spend all your powder, because that means they'll announce a collaboration tomorrow. Be the hero we need. Harsetti. No Harsetti, but it's Ruel, and it's very, very hard to cleave Ruel. Okay, oh, BBK, though. BBK makes life a little easier. This unit, though, is she gonna be a problem for me with this team? I can push her back. There's no non-attack skills, really. I think this is fine. I recently got back into the game. I want to get into RTA. What would be the best way to learn? The best way to learn? The best way to learn is DM me and I'll hook you up with a coach. And you can work out, you can negotiate a rate. They'll go over your units and they'll teach you how to play and go over your past RTA fights and tell you how to improve on it. The best way to do it for free is figure out what style you want to play and start watching a streamer that does that style of play. You want to fight standard and tank down, you watch Sue. You want to learn how to cleave and play high aggro, don't watch anybody because nobody does anymore, but just kidding. Light does a bit of aggro and cleave. Valky plays more aggro and standard. Who else we got? Elf Mage is a hard one to watch. He plays aggro and a little bit of cleave and standard, but his gear makes it a little bit... You watch him, it gets a little bit upsetting. So, there's that route. Valky has got a really good how to RTA guide. If you're relatively new and you're just trying to get into it, I believe Deity is pretty good for how to get new players into RTA to get the Master's Frame. And just jumping in and taking lumps. There is no penalty for failure. You start out at rank 0. If you jump in and you play for weeks and all you do is rack up a red carpet and lose fights, that's okay. You're still at rank 0. You're no worse off than when you started, but now you've got some knowledge. You start to understand how units killed you, what units work together, what team synergies, what things work in certain places, where you need to gear, and you can take that information and go to a trainer and say, here's what I've been trying and how it's not been working for me. What am I doing wrong? And they can work better with you. You do not want to actually pay for training in RTA until you've dropped like 200 RTA rounds, until you've got a little bit of an understanding and you can self-help yourself a little bit, and at least until you've got a whole ass red carpet worth of fights that you can share with your trainer, and your trainer can go over them and say, okay, this is why it didn't work. Here's what you can change to fix it. We need to gear this unit differently. This would have worked if you were on counter set. This one won't work at all. Take the gear off this unit. You don't have the gear for it yet. You can kind of get that kind of information too. But I would not just go in and pay for a trainer and say, hey, I've never done RTA in my life. Teach me. That's going to be a big waste of money. Jump in and give it a shot. Take your lumps. And you can always, if you want to try practicing with really good geared units, you can always just do the draft mode arena, which is very, very similar to RTA, but with well-geared units. And you can say, oh, now I understand this unit interaction. Now I know what units I need to gear up a little bit. I hate that my answer is just jump in the pool and learn you to swim, but that's really kind of it. There's no substitute, no amount of training you can do that will replace just straight up practice. But if you do want, if you have practiced and you feel hard stuck and you do want me to hook you up with a trainer, I know several. I don't do it, but if you shoot me a DM, I can get you hooked up with somebody and you can negotiate a rate. Does anyone play a lot of control? Everybody plays a lot of control. Kukerbat? I've actually never watched Kukerbat do RTA, but he is quite skilled. Okay, BBK, don't let me down against this Lilius. Not really a fast Harsetti, but I don't need to burn this. I think we just take a chunk out of this. Once you get 200 losses, you start to get the game. It really is, right? It's a take the Super Saiyan approach, right? Get your ass kicked and become stronger as a result. If you haven't found the style you prefer yet, definitely watch streamers, like different ones. Every day, watch a different streamer who's doing RTA. And the one that when you watch, you find yourself smiling, you find yourself going, damn, that was cool. That's the style you gravitate towards. It doesn't mean the other styles are worse, but that's the one you clearly are enjoying and you want to do. So, you know, is Candy dead in the current PvP meta? I wouldn't say dead, but she's definitely a late pick because if you pick her early, you can her kit's got so many counters you can get punished pretty hard, right? But she's still a solid anchor pick, a 4th, 5th pick. We blow this up. It pops this. So this has got less health. I hate decisions. We'll shoot this. You know, she was far enough back, we should have just left her. Says would have killed her anyway. Oh, KJ? Holy shit, man. That guy's a monster. Did she holy sack her ass right back? What kind of monster puts holy sack on his Senya? Okay, we just blow everybody up, and then we... Any tips on how to upgrade gear, like which scores to not bother with? Give me 1 second here. I gotta survive this team. Try to pay less attention to gear score and more attention to stat synergy, right? Especially if you're relatively low end, try to pay more attention to stats that work together, right? Like attack, effect resistance, ER, and crit chance all together on one piece feels kind of weird, right? Not a lot of units would use that stat combo. Whereas a lower gear score that is speed, crit chance, attack, and crit damage, even if it starts out low, that's kind of worth rolling because all those stats work really well together. ER, HP, defense, and speed, all those work really well together. So I try to look at the stat synergies, the stat types, along with the main stat, right? If you've got effectiveness, effectiveness, HP, defense, and speed, that sounds great, right? Except when it's on a torrent piece. Suddenly that piece is kind of dog water now, right? And destruction net with a attack main stat, and then it's all, you know, support subs. Maybe you don't roll that either, but so I look less at gear score, more gear stat synergies, making sure that the piece, if you don't look at the stats at all, or the percentages and gear score at all, you just look at the stats, doesn't look like a viable piece, then I try rolling into it, because even if it starts out low, it could roll insanely high. You could roll really high. You know, you could just roll bunches of 8s and 4s on speed and 7s on crit damage, and suddenly you got a really, really good piece, even though it started out kind of dog. I wouldn't really worry about gear score and, you know, starting gear score too much until you've got like at least maybe 1,000 pieces of gear on your inventory. Once you got 1,000 pieces of gear, then you can kind of start being picky. And when you get to that point, when you got 1,000 pieces of, you know, plus 15 gear, maxed out gear, and you want to start being picky, my recommendation is when you go to sort your gear, let me get rid of all this green crap. When you start to sort your gear, you got all this gear that you got from farming Rift, right? And you don't want to have to look at every single piece and analyze every single piece, right? You click on arrange and change it from auto select, go into this cog and change it to simple selection, right? And I like running 26 equipment score if you've got 1,000 pieces of gear or less, right? If you got over 1,000 pieces of gear, maybe you nudge it up to 28 equipment score. Don't ever do 30 and 32. That's crazy. And always check the box to exclude equipment with speed substats, right? Once you set all that up, the first thing you're going to want to do is go and look at your boots. And make sure you don't have any speed main stat boots. If you've got speed main stat boots, check them out. Like say this was speed main stat, check it out and see if you want to keep it. And if you want to keep it, lock it. The reason for that is, even though we told simple selection to ignore the speed substats, it will still get rid of speed main stat boots. So you want to check your boots to make sure this doesn't just get rid of speed main stat boots. Once you do that, then you can just click simple selection and boom. Boom. What the fuck? 28 equipment score. Keep 20 equipment score. Okay, it would highlight everything that's below 28 equipment score and doesn't have a speed sub. Speed sub, 29 equipment score instead of 28, so it keeps this one. 32 equipment score, so it keeps this one. Normally, I guess I already did this earlier, but it would highlight all of the crap. And then you can sell everything that's under 28 equipment score, doesn't have speed sub, and what you're left with is pieces that have really high equipment score that maybe you want to roll, or pieces that have speed as a substat that maybe you want to speed check, or like this one that's got both. So now that I've kind of used simple selection to filter through, imagine that it highlighted a whole bunch of really crappy low equipment score things and I sold them, and now this is what I'm left with because I evidently did that last night. Then I can go through and look at the pieces. Nothing here looks good. There's no synergy, right? First of all, Revenge set is a garbage set and nobody uses it. And don't start preaching crowd. Nobody uses the set. And then but it's got a speed substat. Even though ER and crit chance don't synergize well at all, this is a piece you would normally sell, but it's got speed on it. And anything with a speed substat, I always speed check. When you speed check purple, you do just a single +3 into it. And if it hits speed, we go again. If it doesn't hit speed, it doesn't matter how good it is, I move on. So we'll just sell or extract depending on what you need. This piece, it's only 2 speed, everything else is garbage, but you know what? I had a 2-speeder that rolled 23 speed once, so always check it. If it doesn't hit speed, it hits speed, so we go ahead and do it again. Can I see a 10? Oh, okay. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'm going to math that out to see if it's worth going further, right? If I roll another 4 into speed, that'll take it up to 13. And if I roll another 4 into speed at the last roll, that will take it up to 17. This could theoretically be a 21 speed piece. That would be good for me, so I'm going to try for +9. Can we get a little higher here? Oh, and it's busted. So moving on. Okay, this piece, this is a great example of it's crazy high gear score. But who's going to use effect res, effectiveness, HP, and crit damage on a torrent piece? Who is going to use this piece? If this was literally any other set, I think this would be worth rolling. The only way this would be good is if it penta-rolled crit damage. and then I could maybe... Yeah, it's like you really have to think and sell it, right? ERBBK, maybe, even though she doesn't need H. You got 2 wasted stats. Maybe a Miki, right? It feels really weird. I'll go ahead and +3 it just to see what happens. I'm out. I probably should have never rolled it to begin with. I think I need more Torrent stuff. We'll extract that. Boots. It's 28 equipment score, so it kept it. Immunity with attack main and really high crit damage and flat attack and some decent defense. So, you know what? This has got some potential for an attack-based DPS unit that we don't need fast, potentially a bruiser. Let's go ahead and nudge it up a little bit. I'd like to change one of these stats. I'd like to change this stat to crit chance. You know what? That's practically a maximum roll on attack. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it a little further. Attack and attack's kind of what I'm looking for. This is the one we forgive. You always, if it's a really good piece, you always forgive one bad roll. We'll change this to crit chance, and it doesn't nuke us that bad, but it can never hit this again, and we really don't want it to hit this. So we're down to it being a 50-50 kind of a boot now. It's got to hit the tops for the next one. And I'm out. Now I'm not going to forgive 2. It's too much gear score loss. It's just a weird piece. I don't really have a place for it. If it was torrent set or destruction set or even crit set, maybe I'd go a little further, but it's not worth taking any further at this point. 2 flat defenses kill this piece for me. This one has got a lot of potential. Speed, crit chance, crit damage, and this is the one we can forgive and change to attack for an attack scaler, or HP for an HP scaler, or defense for a defense scaler. This piece has got infinite potential. We've just got to dodge that top roll. I'm just going to go straight in with 2, because there's no world where I don't roll at least twice, right? Even if it rolled once into this, I would still roll a second time because we forgive one. So red, I always +6 just to save time. Oh, double 3s. Okay. Again, there's no world where I wouldn't roll twice on this, right? Even if it hit effectiveness, I'd still roll again for the chance on the speed. So let's go ahead and +6 it again. Show me something good. Double 5s into crit chance. Fucking A, this is looking beautiful, guys. This is looking beautiful. Okay, anything on the bottom would be great. Let's finish this off. Show me. It was only a 2, but what a great piece, right? This is a 15 speed, 18% crit chance. There's 1.5 crit sets built into this immunity piece with relatively high crit damage, and I can change this to attack for an attack scaler, HP for an HP scaler, defense for a defense scaler. So I'm not going to change the effectiveness now, but eventually I will. I'll change it to something that is useful depending on who I want to put it on. And this is a fantastic speed DPS piece, and speed DPS units are amongst the hardest to build, especially speed DPS on immunity. Great piece. So that's how I roll gear. I think about the way the stats work together and whether or not those can be viable. Equipment score is secondary. This one's kind of odd, right? It's good on effect resistance, HP. Okay, so this is going on a knight, possibly a soul weaver if I make up the speed somewhere else. But it's all bulk stats with resistance, so knight or soul weaver, and this crit chance will get changed to another stat. So this one I definitely want to roll up. Take it to +6 since it's red. Okay, not bad. Little low on the defense into already low defense, but a really high ER. Let's go ahead and take it up to +12 because we don't have anything to forgive yet. That was straight up a 4 and a 5. God, this rolled really, really, really low, right? Oh shit, it's a ring. I don't know why I thought this was a helm. I thought this was a helm, and it's a ring. Well, you know what? It rolled so low anyway. I'm dipping out. I'm dipping out. Yeah. You should try to pay a little bit more attention to what you're rolling. No, I don't use flat HP. The only reason I would ever roll a flat HP ring is if it had a speed, and I was speed checking it. I legit thought it was a helmet. I didn't look closely enough. It is what it is. Okay, oh, that's the piece we just rolled. Torrent Helm. Okay, so this is a weird Torrent piece, right? I got a 50-50 shot of greatness. If it sticks down here in the crit chance and crit damage, this could be usable. And there are some Torrent users who want some ER, so it could hit this, although I'd really like it to stay down here. My goal is to change this effectiveness to speed or to crit chance, right? So we're going to roll this, but we're going to roll a little cautiously. We'll go +6, see what we get. So far, so good. God, that's a freaking 4 into an 8. It feels so bad, but it's now the very definition of mediocre, right? It's 5, like 5, 5, 6, 6. Ugh, God. But still, it hit the right stats, so I'll nudge it up a little higher. I'm only going to +3. Okay, you know what? It's going to be an ER piece, sure. We just need to get back down here into damage. God, this is pretty low, but it's still okay. Show me a big roll down here. Big roll, big roll, big roll. That's fine. That's a big roll up there. We take that. Okay, this piece worked out. I went in there with a goal of what I expected out of the piece, and it rolled into it. ER BBK piece or a Miki piece. That's basically who this is for. I don't like ER BBK, but that's kind of exactly what you're looking for, right? And with this helm, you know, I can change this effectiveness to crit chance on units that need crit. A Miki doesn't need ER Gala. No, I don't. Has anybody made ER Gala actually work? Oh, by the way, you guys notice my Reforge mats down here? I've only got 900 and 1,000 of these. I'm letting these recuperate, and I'm rifting. I'm only rifting stuff that pulls off of the Reforge mats I have a lot of. If you notice what I got down here, I got HP to work the Golem mats. I got Immunity and Unity to work off the A13 mats. And I got Torrent to work off of the Katie's mats. So I know everybody's like farm speed, farm counter, farm destruction. If you don't have the Reforge mats to upgrade the gear that you're farming, maybe that's not the best thing for you to farm. Do you really want a whole bunch of +15 speed things that you can't upgrade because, you know, you don't have any Wyvern mats left? No pen. I'm pretty well set on pen right now. I need Torrent more than pen. If you can make an ER BBK work, you can make an ER Gala work too. I don't know if I agree with that, but okay, so this has got a speed sub, but I don't care about defense main boots in any way, shape, or form, so sell those. Speed sub, attack, crit damage, but there's other stuff here. You know, if this was crit chance and flat attack, maybe I'd roll these, but it's a low crit damage and not a lot of things use Unity, so I'm gonna sell that. God, it's 35 gear score on flat attack ring. Isn't that the most horrible thing you've ever seen? It's 1 gear score. It's 1 away from being perfect gear score on flat attack. This is the most horrible. Yeah, I'm still rolling it to speed check it, but God, this feels so bad. Because we forgive 1, we're going to take it to +6. Hopefully at least 1 goes into speed. Hopefully both go into speed. 1 went into speed and 1 went into attack. So actually this is functional now. The flat attack with a high attack stat is actually pretty good. Theoretically it's 39 because theoretically you can start with 5 speed, but yeah, Okay, show me 12 speed. Are we out? Are we really, really out? It rolled so high on that percent attack. People keep saying dead, but let me tell you. This is what I was hoping for, right? The flat attack plus 17% attack actually made it work out for me. Made it to where this was better than percent attack with only one flat attack roll. 2% attacks is better than percent attack with one flat attack. But this one's obviously not going to be 22 speed. And it's immunity, which is kind of weird, right? It's if it was torrent or crit set, maybe, but on immunity, it's kind of weird. Nah, guys, I hate it. I hate it, but we're dipping out. We're dipping out. Absolute garbage, 18 equipment score, but it's a speed check, so we put 1 into it. Okay, we put 2 into it. And we're out. Always speed check. The only things I don't speed check are when it's 1 speed. I know theoretically 1 speed can be amazing, but I don't think 1 speed should exist in the game, so I never roll it. That's awful. Even though it's 28 equipment score is not worth rolling. Oh, and all things being equal, I sell reds because it's 25,000 gold. I sell reds because if you extract a red, it's only 10 charms, right? Whereas if you extract a purple, it's 9. It's only 1 different on the cubes. But if you sell a purple, it's only 15k gold instead of 25k gold. It's a substantial difference in the amount of gold you get, red to purple, and a minor difference in the cubes you get. So if you're trying to figure out when to extract and when to sell, if you need everything, I mean, if you just need gold, you sell everything. If you just need cubes, you extract everything. But if you kind of need a little bit of everything, or you're just trying to find a good pattern, a good rhythm to stay in good shape, sell the reds, extract the blues, and the purples, either extract or sell based on what you need. It's just kind of my rule of thumb. Extract blues, sell purples. I'm saying extract blues, sell reds, and then the purples, extract or sell based on the needs of your account. Okay, this is a great example of a piece that's pretty high gear score and has like few things that go well together, right? The HP and defense are nice, but it's really low defense and it's really low ER. The gear score on this is because of the high crit damage and the high health together. The defense and ER are really, really low. I'm still going to roll this to see what happens. I either sell purple or I extract purple, Mario, depending on if I need gold more or if I need cubes more. Yeah, ER on immunity is not really sus. It's an extra check. It's good for like those mid ER, those mid effect resistance units, right? The 125 to 175 ER units. It's just an extra check. It's really good on those. Just because you never know, it could penta-roll crit damage. Crazier shits happen, right? I'll go ahead and nudge a charm into it and see where we're going with this. It's already a min roll into a min roll stat, and I'm out. I don't even want to see what happens next. Health, speed, health. This is an interesting piece. Too bad it's purple and so low rolled. Oh god, killing me, game. Look, it's like a good purple piece now. Yep, we're out. We're out. Terrible. Speed check this one. Is this helpful? Are you guys like picking up anything on how I'm like how I'm rationalizing what I'm rolling, what I'm keeping, what I'm continuing on. Ooh. If it wasn't hit set, if it was torrent set, or crit chance set, or destruction set, any DPS set, even a speed set, I might push this further. Because it's max roll into a max roll with a near max roll, and a max roll with a near max roll into it. See what I'm saying? This one I might push further, but because it's hit set, I'm not taking this any farther. Now, if you're relatively new and your gear is relatively low end, you might want to push this a little further, see where it goes, but I've got enough gear where at my level of play, this one's definitely not going to find use anywhere. HP with speed is pretty good, but I've got no other supportive stats, right? Knights who want immunity, HP, or Soul Reavers that want immunity, HP with a speed sub aren't going to want this stuff. They're going to want defense. They're going to want ER. None of these stats synergize with these top two stats, so I'm not even going to roll it. 28 equipment score, but this is sloppy and all over the place, right? Unity set with max crit chance, pretty good ER, effectiveness, and flat health. Ain't none of these things go together. Not a damn thing goes together on this, so I'm not even rolling that. Everything goes well together here on Unity set and its speed. Let's see if we can speed check this up a little bit. Low ass roll into a low ass speed into a purple piece. I'm done. I am done with that. Where was I? That was the weird piece. Hang on, let me do a little clean up here. I don't need cubes, so I sell everything for charms. Or for gear powder. Okay. Torrent, crit chance. Everything else is sus, but it's a speed check. This would not be worth rolling if it wasn't for the speed. Oh, god damn it. 2 speed is so awful. Feels so bad. Okay, we're definitely out. Remember, you can go to +9 on like a dozen pieces for the cost of going from +12 to +15 on one piece. So always really decide, is it worth it? Not, is there a chance in hell this could happen? Not like, oh, all it has to do is it has to max roll into this one stat the next 3 times and it's savable. No, you walk away at that point. You're going to run out of charms playing the game like that. Don't take those last few steps unless you're pretty sure the piece has a future. But +3 and +6, it takes almost nothing, right? Ooh, nice. +6, it's taking 2 charms and 6 powder. But like if I wanted to go to +9, it's still not taking that much, right? 1 big charm and some powder. Or 1 big charm and a couple little charms. I'll show you the difference in powder here, right? So it takes 17 powder to go to +3. And that's not that big of a deal. Ooh. It takes 41 powder to go +6. Significantly more. And then it takes 94 powder to go to +9. If you wanted to go to +12, look how much fucking powder it takes. Remember, it only took 17 to go to +3 and 40 some to go to +6. And God forbid you want to take it all the way +15. That's where your charms go. Is going to +15 and +12 and +15 when you shouldn't. When you should just walk away. And this I'm going to walk away from. Yeah, it double tapped crit damage into attack speed with a crit chance sub. God damn, this was such a nice piece when it started out. The double low roll killed it for me. And we got a minimum crit chance here. Yeah, it's above average, but it's above average because it started so good. I mean, it's you could be 15 speed, but it's a bruiser piece, right? It's an attack scaling bruiser piece right now. It's like a landy piece. It's definitely a Navy Captain landy piece. And the... This is so hard to decide on. What did this look like to begin with? This is what it looked like to begin with. Max, max, 1 off max, 2 off max. Am I crazy to reset this? I mean, I got 10 of these damn things. Don't do this, guys. Don't do this. What a waste. What a waste. We're doing it for content. We're doing it because we believe. Can't believe I reset a Unity ring. Okay, show me something amazing. Show me I made good choices. 6 and a 6. Okay. God damn it, that was a 4. Hell yeah. That's not bad at all. 27% crit damage on an attack main ring with 10% crit chance. And that defense could become 9 health if I wanted it. Health versus defense. I'm kinda 6 different kinds of okay with this piece. Ooh. Ooh. Guys, this is beautiful. It kind of sucks that it's on a immunity set, but we'll take it. Okay, max and 1 off max. There's no world where I don't +2 this. Oh, a 6 and a 5, you dick! Okay. Big numbers, big numbers. 5 and a 4. 4, 6, 6, 5, and then a 5. It's not bad. That's pretty good. I dodged speed like a master though, didn't I? It low rolled. This could have been so much better. It low rolled, but it's a pretty good DPS piece, and I can change this to 4 speed. That'll get it up to a 97 equipment score. I've had minimal to no luck +50, just going slamming straight to +15, but maybe you're right. Maybe I should have on that one. Hey, Joe Pat, thank you for the sub, buddy. And that's it. I'm out of pieces to level. Oh, except for the arena piece.
Low numbers, baby, let's go.
This arena piece is perfect. Perfect. The only thing that could screw this up is low rolls. So we're going to take your advice, Gray Fox. We're going to take your advice. We'll go straight to +15 on this. Is that what we're doing here? Is that what we're doing? I can't look. I can't look. Tell me, did it roll okay? Did it roll good? You're not typing loud enough. I can't hear you. We'll peek at chat. Just peek at chat. Laughing my ass off. That's not a good sign. Okay. I guess we find out together. Ugh. You know what though? 77638. 77638 Only the 6 health was kind of disappointing. Everything else was pretty good. I'm okay with this. This is a nice piece. Lock it. There you go. There's my gear rolling seminar for the day. I've been wrestling with putting together a guide on how to roll gear, but hopefully you got something out of that. I'll try to come up with a little bit more specific way to roll it, but my best advice to you, if you're struggling with when to roll gear, whether or not it's good or not, is be in a guild that's got a Discord channel. And if you don't have a guild that's got a Discord channel, join my Discord channel. Post screenshots. Should I keep going? Should I stop? Ask the community. You really want to do a good one? Jump into a voice chat room with people and say, hey, I'm rolling some gear with some people. Please jump in here and give me some advice. And a lot of the questions are going to be playing Divine's favorite game, who the hell uses this piece? And that's a lot of deciding whether or not you roll it. You want to roll pieces that groups of people use, that types of people use.
Subscribe.
You want to roll pieces that have a, this is good for a speed DPS. This is good for a bruiser knight. This is good for an evasion unit. You don't want to roll pieces like, well, this is good for ML Ken. This is good for BBK, but only if you build her ER. If you have a need for those kind of pieces, that's great, but you don't need 25 of those kind of pieces, right? One of my favorite examples is my Nex. I have this really bad luck with rolling these these Labyrinth Necks with oh damn it, stupid freaking, that button really needs a confirm button. Are you sure you want to go into this stupid storage that nobody uses? Everybody's like, oh, Tristen, you should be happy that you rolled HP and attack because lots of bruisers use HP and attack. I'm like, name them. And they'll be able to name like 3 bruisers that use HP and attack. I'm like, well, that's great. So I got one of these, right? And then I got another one that, oh, that's not an Abyss Ring. Then I got another one that rolls HP and attack. And another one that rolled HP and attack. And another one that rolled all HP and attack. And, another one that rolled HP and attack, and then I got this one down here that rolled, you got it, HP and attack. How many HP and attack things do I need? So if somebody says roll it because it's good on this specific unit, that's okay if you have a need for that specific unit, but if you've already got like 6 or 7 pieces of gear that are good for a specific unit, that's not the kind of gear you should be chasing. You should be chasing gear that's good on lots of different units, styles of units, bruisers, speed DPSs, slow DPSs, nukers, tanks, support units, things like that. How many CP does my Gunther have? Not a lot. That's my best advice for you if you need help rolling gear, is get into a Discord room and get into a chat with lots of other people and play the game. Who uses this piece? Should I keep going or should I stop? And when somebody says you should keep going on this, ask them why if you don't immediately see why. Much like doing RTA, the more you do it, the more natural it's going to feel. The more you're going to see the synergies, the less you're going to skip over on bad pieces. So hopefully that helps you guys out. That ER ring in the you know what though, that ER stuff really helped me out when I was playing Techron for a while there. He's still got those pieces on. This was one of the most painful things ever, is this torrent piece that just rolled effect resistance. I think Amiki got all that stuff now. No, she didn't. Anyway. How is my Ravi built? Yeah, mine's on an HP neck, but it's got like really high attack and crit damage into it, so it works out well. My Miki build? Sure. I'm just now learning that even though she has green hair, she's an ice unit. That's her. Hey, I'm glad to hear it. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. A Taiwan? Sure. What's up, yo, bro beans? Just want to say how helpful your Nightmare Labyrinth videos were. I've been playing off and on for a while and finally managed to clear it at last. That's great, Kaz. I'm glad to hear it. Urban Shadow Shoe? Sure. Giant rat gun. People go over on crit damage. You don't need to. This is plenty of crit damage. Make sure she's got the bulk. I wish I could have a little bit more defense on her. I'd drop 20% crit damage if I could get 200 more defense on her. Defense is kind of hard stat to work on with everything else she wants. I do like the speed. I think the people running her at 270 have a rat that can't kill anything. I think 230 to 250 is fine, but to each their own. I used to run an ER rat. She looked like this. Let's see. She looked like this, and I won a lot of fights with her that I wouldn't have won with my damage rat, but I found that I liked my damage rat just a little bit more. Here you're just relying on her surviving and not getting controlled, and then the ER blows things up, but it just wasn't quite enough ER to survive in like how high effectiveness is right now. It just wasn't enough ER to keep her from being controlled, and then I was missing all of the crit damage, all of the damage. And I kind of hated that. So I shifted her back, and this worked better for me. My Dilibet needs to be rebuilt. This is an old build, and I think I'm going to change her up, but that's my Dilibet. Any uses of Edward Elric? He's pretty good into Harsetti, but that's about it. My Flan. This is my Arena Flan. And she's just straight up full nuclear. Little bit of bulk to survive, and then just everything else into damage. And I'm going to rebuild this Flan with lifesteal. You can kind of see what I'm angling for, though, right? Right now, she's just getting her last friendship points worked out on my farm team. But I'll get a torrent piece on her. I'm trying to get her back to 12 by 12 on the bulk, and with enough speed to take a turn. So I want a speed lifesteal one, and then my nuclear one for arena. Oh, speaking of farming. I still have the timer. I still have the XP booster for 11 minutes. That's enough time to do one more run. Yeah, I got 2 Flan Arties. They're only plus 15, though, which kind of sucks, but hey. Got what you got. There's also a world where you can put her on lifesteal. If you build a bulky one on lifesteal, and she can practically be the healer for your team. What counters ML Sirmia in RTA? Like pretty much the entire meta. Just all the damage. Are people even playing her in RTA right now? Yeah, forgive me. My RTA knowledge is a little bit weak because this is how many RTA fights I've done this season. Me and my 100% win rate. Look at this madness. That's going to be a really, really fast Ahmed. Can I cleave this? I can cleave this, right? Burn this. She pushes up, pushes up, pushes up. Yeah, I just cleave the shit out of this. Oh, it's definitely a cleave, Ken, right? It's designed so that Ahmed pushes everybody up. Bryceria gets the defense break. That Bryceria is faster. Holy shit. No, that Ahmed is faster. Oh my god. No, it was Bry. That's a 307 speed, Luna, and that Bry was giga faster. Oh my god. I'm getting destroyed. And this pushes Ken up, and I'm freaking cleaved. How fast... like a 310 Bryceria? That's insane. Wow. It was a lot of speed RNG because she was a couple of percents ahead of me. Okay, I tell you what, we're going to see if it was speed RNG. We're going to see. That's crazy. She's still faster, dude. She's still faster by a chunk. Dude, she is 2% faster. And she was more ahead last time than this time. I think it's like a I think it's a 310 speed Bryceria. Wait a minute, 307. Oh, there ain't no way. There ain't no way. There's no way. There's no way. No, she's not missing gear. She's not missing gear. It's just a really, really, really fast Bry. 307 times 1.02. It's like 315 speed. Can I even build that? Is there any world where I could even build something that fast? I could get close. I could get into his neighborhood. I think he's faster than 310 though. I think he's 313 to 315 speed. If anybody knows who that is, let me know. I want to talk to him. I would love to see that Bry. Oh yeah, my E's max. That's crazy. Okay, never fighting that guy again. It's outstanding. I know I'm wasting points, but I want to see how RNG it is. She's still faster, and this time it's and she's still 2% faster, which is 313, 314 speed. 3 times in a row is not speed RNG, guys. That's crazy. Symbol of unity on Ken, so he even hits through evasion. Okay. Enough wasting points. God damn it, Zoldred. Get with the program. Okay, fine. Not Zoldred then. I want to use Zoldred for this. .319 speed Luna. 319 speed Luna. Oh wait, that was Zio. I almost lost my shit for a second. Okay, 319 times 0.97. That pegs her at 310. So we got one run at 314, 2 runs at 313, 1 run at 310. I think it's safe to say he's in the 312 to 313 range. 312-ish speed range. I don't think I got massively screwed by RNG 3 times in a row, dude. It's possible. But even this one at 309, he was still faster than my 307 Luna. Okay. Nah, sincerely though, hats off to that guy. What a monster he built. First try, easy win. Do you guys love how I'm rank 86 and I'm still in champs? This season is so fucked. The changes they made to Arena are so awful, so bad. All right. Enough Arena. We need to talk about the Yuffine Labyrinth. So people keep asking me how to get charms. Where do you get all these charms? And one of the best places to get charms is farming Unrecorded History. I'm sorry. Is farming Eulogy for a Saint. If you farm Eulogy for a Saint, it drops so damn many charms. I know it costs 900 Sky Stones to open it, but it drops a lot of charms. We've only done, what, 18 runs out of 30 so far, and we're already up to 7, 8, 9, already up to 9 charms. We're probably going to end this somewhere around 15 to 18 charms, right? But it only drops these 4 charms: boots, weapons, armor, and helms. It doesn't drop rings and necks. So where do you get the ring and neck charms? Well, the best place to get the ring and neck charms, other than buying them daily from the normal shop, make sure you do this, guys. Make sure you always go to the normal shop every week. I'm sorry, the Transmit Stone shop every week, and you buy your accessory charms here. Worth picking up. But the other place you get them is from the Labyrinth shop. And the Labyrinth shop, you can buy as many as you want here, but you need these ancient coins. And you need a way to farm them. Once you got the ancient coins, you're set, right? You can just have hundreds of the charms in your pocket. But it costs a lot of these ancient these ancient coins to buy these charms. Well, the best way to get ancient coins is this Yuffine Labyrinth. So you're going to go into the Labyrinth, and you're going to go and you're going to pick the Nixied Sanctum. You want to avoid Malicus's consciousness. It can work there, but too many bosses have Ignore ER Strip. Nixied Sanctum doesn't have any bosses that have Ignore ER Strip. So we can complete this a lot better. Now, I've had a lot of people, I've put videos up on this before, but I'm going to try to go into more detail as to how to set this team up, because I've got a lot of people who are messaging me saying they're not getting the counter buff. They think maybe it's been patched, it's not quite working right. So this is the basic team setup. First, you're going to need a unit that can steal the counter buff from the enemy, and that makes Crescent Moonrin perfect for this. The only other unit who can do it right now is Rimuru, and that's not the best option. Next, we're going to need a unit that that can give targeted immortality. Shooting Star Arcades is the best unit to do for this. There are ways to do it without Shooting Star Arcades, but they're all monumental pains in the ass. Using Abigail, or trying to use gold shields like with Crimson Armin, or with Isolana. But if you really want info on how to do that, shoot me a DM and I'll walk you through it. But Shooting Star Arcades is by far and away the easiest way to do it. So once you get these 2 ML units, you're kind of in. Next, we're going to run Christie. She's our source of effect resistance. We do want some effect resistance on the back row. And then Yuffine is our damage dealer. And for this to work, Yuffine needs to be built on her S2 EE. I'm sorry, on her number 1 EE. Her number 1 EE that allows you to have a 35% chance to extend buffs. That is the key. That's what makes this work. If your Yuffine Labyrinth is falling apart, make sure you have this EE. Don't worry about how good it is. Mine's only like 10% effectiveness. You don't need effectiveness. Other than that, you want to build her with 80% or more crit chance. The reason for 80% crit chance is Arky's Blessing gives us an additional 20% crit chance. So you got your 20% crit chance. And then build her as slow as possible. Literally just all damage. Everything into attack and crit damage. Mine is so overstated, it's not even kidding. You could run 1,000 less attack and this would still work. You could run 100 less crit damage and this would still work. But give her as much damage as you can while keeping her at 80% crit chance, give or take, and run her speed slow. And then effect resistance. Our goal is to have 150 ER. I know I said 200 in past videos. People insisted it was only 150 and I fought them on it tooth and nail. I've gone back and tested it several times since then, and I don't know what I was doing wrong before, but so far 150 ER has not failed me. So we're going for 150 ER. Now, I've only got 7, right? That's where Christie comes in. The next unit on the team is going to be Silvertide Christie. Normal, non-specialty change Christie works just as well. You don't need Silvertide Christie. She's got 316 ER, but wait, she doesn't really. She doesn't really. Some of that ER is coming from her self-imprint, and self-imprints go away when the unit dies. She still sends her ER to the back, but she won't send her self-imprint to the back, so I'm going to be sending 9 ER less to the back row once she's dead, and she will be dead. So temporarily turn your ER off, turn your imprint off so you can see what her ER really is. And my ER is 298. That means I'll be sending 149 ER to the back row. Plus the 7 that Yuffine's already got, that's over the 150 threshold and I'm good. Now, if I was only sending, say my ER was 200 ER, and I'm only sending 100 to the back row, I need to make sure I've got 50 ER on my Yuffine. It's not very difficult to do this, right? You, let's say I only had 200 ER here, so I'm only sending 100 ER to the back row. I only need 50 more on Yuffine. That means I just changed this ring to an effectiveness main stat ring, and I've got my 150 ER. So that's all you got to need to do, is make sure she's got 150 ER, her ER plus half of Christie's ER with her imprint turned off. Okay? If you use an ER main ring, that works fine. So I'm going to turn this back on just so I don't forget to do it later. But remember that her imprint goes away when she dies. So I will not be sending the 9 ER from this to the back row. If she've got her on an ER boosting artifact, that will not be sent to the back row once she dies. This artifact is really, really good. Put this artifact on her. Bastion of Perlucia. This will give immunity to the back row unit, which is our Yuffine, and that will guarantee that we have immunity, and that's what's going to let us kill some of the bosses that we couldn't kill before. Now we can clear everything on the floor without any issues whatsoever. If you don't have this artifact, that's okay. If you don't have this artifact, it'll still work, but you're going to not be able to fight one of the bosses. That's all. You just have to skip one of the bosses, and we'll talk about which one that is. As for the other 2 units, they just need to not die, right? I got Shooting Star Hades on a random speed set. She's not even wearing boots, and I don't care. I've got her on a random artifact. It can be anything. This doesn't matter because she's giving ER to units that don't matter. If you want to put some ER on them, it can make it a little easier to set up because you don't have to worry about the provokes so much. But, yeah, just put 5 or 6 pieces of gear on her. Make sure she's got enough bulk to not die. That's all she needs. Next is going to be Crescent Moon Rin. Again, she's just wearing 5 pieces of gear. She doesn't need to be this fast. You can control the speed. For the time that you need to run her, you can control the CR tuning of the fight. I'll show you when we get into it. Just make sure that she's got enough bulk that she doesn't die. That's all she needs. She's on an artifact that does nothing. She's on an imprint that helps out the team a little bit, but just 5 or 6 pieces of gear. Now remember, if you can get 100 ER on both of these on both of these units, it will make fighting the mobs a little bit easier because in the round we're trying to set things up, you can get provoked. And if you've got that 100% ER, it'll keep the provoke off you, make life a little bit easier, but hey, it's a fast team. If you get provoked, just restart. Here's how the team works. Oh, make sure you have Arky set as your Guardian, because remember, we're relying on Arky's Blessing to get that 20% crit chance onto our Yuffine so that she'll have a 100% crit chance. In order to get Arky at the start, and you do want Arky at the start, you got to do 1 fight, right? So just turn on auto and turn everybody's skills off, and just kill these majestic flat flaps at the start. This will give you enough souls where you'll be able to Arky when it's important. Get him, Yuffine. And then turn auto off. There we go. That got us enough souls that we'll be able to Arky by the end of the last fight. Now, where you're going to want to teleport to on the map is you bring up your map, and you're going to slide up here and right by this treasure chest with the 2 crystals beside it. This is the goal. You're going to teleport to this node right here. Okay? And just to the north of this node is the monster that we want to fight. Now, I'm not going to grab this because you may not have one. I want to show that you do get enough souls. You slide past and go over into this fight. Make sure auto's turned off. Now, tuning is everything for this fight. When Yuffine hits the B hard enough, the B will get a counterattack buff for 2 turns. And we want to steal that counterattack buff. Where a lot of people are messing this up is the B takes a turn, it goes down to a 1-turn counterattack buff, and then they steal that. It's not enough. You need a 2-turn counterattack buff. That means you need to kill the B before Yuffine takes the turn, so she doesn't lose the 2-turn buff, and you need to have the counter buff up for 2 turns in time for Rin to steal it. So I know that's a lot. Just try to stick with me on this. We're going to start out by when you hit the B, nothing happens. But when you hit the adds, the B CR pushes. So that is going to help us control when we kill the B, when we get the buff. It's going to help us move the B up or down to keep it in line with our units. We're going to start out by just hitting the B because we want to get some chip damage. So I'll just drop an S1 in here. We'll have you S1 the B. Notice we don't have enough souls to Archie yet, and we want to make sure we can kill this thing fast at the end. So let's just S1 the B here. Where's the B? The B is on the CR bar. Where's the B? The B is already up here. I want to trigger the B. Not yet. It's too much HP bar. Let's just hit the B some more. Now, if I S3'd here, it would trigger the counter buff, but then I'm not sure. I would only take the damage down to about right here, maybe, and I'm not sure we could kill the B in time to not lose our buff. So I'm going to stall for a little bit. Remember, I also kind of want Archie, so I'm going to S2 here. S2 is not going to be enough, especially if I don't freaking crit. Good job, Yuffine. We'll hit the B some more. We want to hurt the B. We want to hurt the B and get Archie ready. Ouch. If I S1 now, I'll probably trigger the B. I think it's too soon. I'm just going to hit an ad. S1 the B. S1 over here. Oops. Okay, I pushed the B up. The B's doing its thing. There's the provokes. These are the things that can provoke and blind you. I think it's this front one that does provokes. Okay. 7 souls away from Archie. Hit the B some more. Okay, I think I'm going to do it now. I think I'm going to go ahead and proc the B. If it doesn't work, we'll have to start this out. So I want to make sure the B goes first, because I don't want Yuffine to trigger the B and then the B takes the turn before my Rin can steal the buff. So instead of hitting the B here, I'm going to hit one of the adds, and when I hit the adds, it'll CR push the B up ahead of my Yuffine. Check it. Now the B takes a turn. Now my Yuffine can S3, proccing the B. There's the counterattack buff. It's pretty good damage. Now it's important that I don't hit the adds. If I hit the adds, the B will CR push, and I need to make sure Rin goes first because I want to steal this counterattack buff while it's 2 turns. If I steal it while it's 1 turn, it'll go away at the end of the fight. So let's see. We'll have Christy just attack the B. Ouch. And now Rin's going to use her S2 and steal the 2-turn counter buff. Stolen. What just happened? We got 15%ed? Oh my god. %15 is amazing in PvE. Everybody loves it, especially when you're making a guide. It feels so good, guys. It feels so good. Now do everything again. Okay, so once again, we auto through the majestic flaps. Turn auto off. Then we can teleport back up here to the B. One more time from the top. Okay, just going to S1 the B. S1 the B. Maybe Yuffine doesn't miss her crit this time. Yuffine screams. Gets the crit off. Does damage, but it's not enough damage to proc the counter buff, and that's what's important. I'll hit the B some more. Hitting the B some more. Ooh, shit. That was unexpected. So we have 15% and then we have 3%. And now it's not going to work. So now we restart. Man, this guide's great. This guide is letting everybody see like all of the worst possible things that can happen to screw this fight up. 15% and 3%. Three times is a charm, right, guys? 3 times is a charm. Oop, oop, oop. Don't go into the next fight. Okay, and let's teleport up to this stupid RNG-loaded bee. Okay. Thanks, game, for showing us 15% and showing us 3%. I'm sure the people watching this guide appreciated that. Now we get to see how it really, really works, right? So let's attack the bee. Attack the bee. We'll just do our normal scream here. It's not enough damage to trigger the buff yet. We'll attack the bee some more. And let's see, where are we? Not bad. We'll still go ahead and attack the bee here. He attacks us. I think I'm going to go ahead and set it up this time. So I need to get the bee to be ahead of Yuffine. So I'm going to have Shooting Star Hades attack one of the ads that the bee CR pushes. That moved the bee down the line. I'm going to have Rin attack one of the ads. That'll push the bee ahead of Yuffine, which is the goal. Especially with the double attack. Now the bee is down the line. Are you freaking kidding me? We got provoked. It's okay. We can make this work, surely. Right? We can't. Not even the third run. It's so technical. It's technical in the sense of just don't let the things that are almost impossible to happen back to back to back, right? I'm gonna cut the provoke bullshit out of the video because, good lord. I mean, at least it's fast, right? You slaughter these guys. Turn this off. All right. This time it happens for real, right? Surely. So let's just attack the bee. Smack the bee. And we're going to use our S3 here. It'll do a lot of damage, but not enough to trigger the counterattack buff. Hit this one here. Go ahead and do this. Okay, I need the bee to go before Yuffine, so I'm going to attack some of the ads to get the bee to CR push down. Rin will cut, so that'll be 2 people going before her. That'll definitely CR manipulate the bee. So we'll hit here. Bee moves up. We'll have Rin hit here. That'll move the bee up. Now the bee does his attack. On God, my Rin's provoked. We're gonna change this. We're gonna change this. This is ridiculous. Beyond ridiculous. There. No more annoying bee provokings. Rin now has enough ER, 65 plus the 70 from Bastion plus the 15 from the imprint from...
That bee is like Splinter in the So Annoying.
Yes, yes it is. Rin now definitely has enough ER. We put her on an ER ring. That gets her up to 65. Plus she's getting another 15 from the imprint from Shooting Star Arcades plus the 70% from this artifact. That's it's a lot. It's well over the 150 mark. And then Shooting Star Arcades, she's chilling out down here with 121.
Out here trying to prove that it's worse than Hall of Trials.
It's not though. Shooting Star Arcades with 121 ER plus the 50 that she's getting from Bastion. That gets her over the 150 mark. Now we shouldn't have any more problem with provokes. You go up here, you check into this. Wait, nope, we gotta go do our fight first. Hang on. We need our souls for Arky. Maybe I should hit the yellow ad and not the blue one.
At least this be training arc for Hawk.
I'll use footage from this. I'm going to remake the video off cam or off stream, but I'll use footage from this showing people how awful it can go if you don't do these certain things. Maybe.
I 100% bet Schneal will be must-have unit for next Hall of Trials.
Oh, the water ads can ER provoke when you hit them. So we just don't hit the water ads? No, it cannot be done with Abyssal Yuffine. This relies on green Yuffine's artifact, or EE. I want to see if you're right. I'm going to put her back the way she was.
What if she is a Yuffine lab power creep kappa?
I think that's what she was on, right? Yeah, 252.96, that was it. And then I just had her on freaking Winter's artifact, I think. Doing nothing artifact. There it is. Nope, green Yuffine is the only one who can do this trick. The units are very specific. If you don't have these units, then you just farm regular Labyrinth.
Tinfoil hat intensifies. Maybe Schneal and Malua is a bait for ML Mort.
Okay, guys. This time it'll work for sure. Okay, let's start out. Let's get the music going. Start out by hitting the B. It's okay. We're okay with that dual attack because it didn't trigger the the counter buff yet. That was a little scary though. This one here. Blind. This shouldn't trigger it, right? Yeah, that's good. This. We're just building up some souls, getting the timing right. Okay. I think we are just about ready. Go ahead and hit the B. Okay, now we need to get the B to go before Yuffine, so we want to hit the ads to make the B go first. You want to make sure you only hit the gold ad. If you hit the blue ads, they can do an ignore ER provoke on you, and that's bad juju, can break your run. So let's S1 the front ad and watch it'll CR push the B down the line. Rin cuts, we're going to S1 the front ad again. That'll make sure the B cuts Yuffine because we want the B to go first. There we go. Now the reason you want the B to go first is you need Rin to steal the counter buff while it's 2 turns. So we need to make sure that Rin is ahead of the B. If the B gets the counter buff and then takes a turn, it drops down to a 1-turn counter buff, and then you won't be able to steal a 2-turn counter buff, and it needs to be 2 turns to be able to exit this fight. So we'll use Yuffine's S3 now. That procs the counter attack buff. And you see it's 2 turns. Now we need Rin to be the one that steals it, so we can't hit any of the ads or the B will push ahead of Rin. That's another reason you don't want to be provoked. If you're provoked, you wind up hitting the ads and then Rin pushes through. So we'll just, we'll S1 the B here. I'm going to use my S2 to give Yuffine immortality. Now she's got the immortality buff and a nice attack buff. We'll have Rin S2. Okay, you know what? My Rin has got 100% crit in the light. So check it. I'm going to S3 this front ad. You may think I'm crazy, but I'm cooking. I S3 this front ad. Since I crit, I get an extra turn. And it gave everybody greater attack buff. And now I S2 and I steal the 2-turn counter buff. Ah! This game hates me. What the freaking hell? Hey, Display, thank you for the sub, buddy. This is the most ridiculous... No, she's got 85% effectiveness. Is more than enough effectiveness. It's crazy. You're saying that and it's making me go to check now, right? No, she's got 84 effectiveness. She's got way more than enough effectiveness for this steal. She only needs like 50. Oh my god. A 3% and 2 15%. That's crazy. I could have cleared this 2 times in the amount of time it's taken to set up this one fight. Turn auto off. Teleport up to the fight. Okay, I'm not going to say surely this time it works. I think that's what's jinxing us. Alright, let's hit the B. Let's get some chip damage. Good job, Yuffine. Thanks for that dual attack. Chip damage here. I could just straight up S2 into the B and steal the buff, but we're going to pretend that I didn't get that dual attack and we actually need to hurt the B a little bit more, so we're going to use our S2 Scream to get some more damage on the board, get some more souls built up down here. Remember, our goal is to get enough souls to Archie at some point. And that provoke was a little weird, but we're going to roll with it. Yuffine's way back. I think we still just hit the B. Where's Yuffine in the B? Yuffine's all the way back. Let's just hit the B. Okay, so this timing works out pretty good. The B is all the way in the back so that once I activate the counter buff, my Rin can steal it. Remember, this is the trick. You need to steal the buff while it is a 2-turn buff. If the B takes a turn, it goes down to a 1-turn buff. Stealing that is useless. So you need to time it so that Rin is ahead of the B, and the B is not going to take a turn and cycle its buff off. So we'll go ahead and S3. Now we've procced a 2-turn counter buff. Our Rin's going to steal this. We don't want to screw anything up, so I'm going to use non-attack skills here. I'll just S3 with my my Christie, refresh this attack buff. I'm going to S2 to give Yuffine the immortality. Now we've got 3-turn attack buff, 3-turn immortality, and now we steal the counter attack buff. You have one job. One job. Now before we do this, I am going to S3 one of the front adds. The S3 will give a destruction buff to everybody. Make sure you've got enough crit chance. You've got a crit for the extra turn. If you don't have crit chance on your Rin, don't do this step. It's my Yuffine's at 348 crit damage, so this is only going to give me 2% more crit damage. I'm really just kind of min-maxing here. So we'll S3 this front add. There's my crit damage buff. And then we S2 and we steal the counterattack buff. There we go. We got it that time. So we stole the counterattack buff. And now we're in perfect shape. We've got a 2-turn counter buff, 2-turn destruction buff, 3-turn immortality, 3-turn attack. That means we can leave this phase just fine with all of our buffs intact, and this is why we had to do that first fight, to get enough souls that you can drop Archie to finish the phase off. And now we're out of the phase with attack, immunity, and counter buff. Those are the immunity and the counter is really all you need, right? But everything else is fluff. Archie's Blessing gives us, I can't click on it, but trust me when I say Archie's Blessing gives you 20% crit chance, and that gets my Yuffine up to 100% crit chance. Now, once you've got this setup, once you've got this magic combo of counter and immortality on, now we need to run the clock all the way down to minus 50 morale. And you can teleport around. That's what I did in previous videos, but this is easier, right? Teleport to this spot right here on the northern part of the map, and then just start going through these things, right? Left, 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 and then right, 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 and then left, 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 left. And this will run your morale down wicked fast. Down to 10. Caesar alert. Minus 4. Minus 10. Minus 15. Minus 20. 24. There we go. Oh, no, wait. We need minus 50, not minus 40. There we go. Now, what you want to do is find a boss that takes forever to kill. And my favorite one is this northernmost corner by this chest. There's a boss, the Lich, takes forever to kill. So we'll teleport over to here, the teleport, and a little bit of walking. Now we are at minus 50 morale, and that's the goal. You need to be at minus 50 morale for this to work. Now, because we're on Bastion, I immediately get an immunity buff on my Yuffine. And that immunity buff is nested behind all these other buffs. It makes it so that it can't be stripped. And that's what makes this work so well. Now we just can press auto, and we have Yuffine's skills off, and every time Yuffine is attacked, the counterattack buff's going to activate, and you have a 35% chance to extend your buffs. So we went from 2%, or went from 2 on the counter to 3 on the counter because she counterattacked. We got no extension on that one. No extension there. Wow, 3 hits, no extension. Come on, Yuffine. Wow, 35% chance, ladies and gentlemen. Is your EE broken, Yuffine? There we go. Now we're up to 4 on the counter, etc. and so forth. It's really impossible for you to fail at this point. You've got the perfect setup, so you just leave it on auto. Eventually it's going to stay straight 9s. The reason you want the immunity is there's one boss on the map. Can I show it? This boss right here. The boss that's right here can stun you, and the stun ignores ER. Now that doesn't brick the run, but it can trap you because it takes so long for you to take a turn that by the time the stun wears off, it'll add an hour to the run easily. But because you have immunity, the boss can no longer stun you, so you can even safely do that one. You're not permanently stalled in the fight. I like this fight as the start fight because this fight takes a very, very long time, so it's a good way to seed all of your buffs up to 9. Now it does go beyond 9. You'll eventually be at like 250 on each buff, but you know the animation, the UI can only show 9s on there, but there's no way it can be reduced down, so you don't have to worry about taking extra turns or speed buffs or anything like that. Eventually, the Lich dies. And now we're free. And now you can literally go and fight the entire labyrinth. And I mean all of it. Just start following warp gates, walk around, and kill everything on full auto. And then you go and do something else on the side. You work on your fribbles. You don't take any gold gates. You work on your fribbles, you go watch an anime, you work on the job you're quoting at work. Because all you have to do is look up occasionally to walk to the next fight. And once you get to the next fight, you can go back and do something else, work on something else, all the way to the end. It takes a while. The stronger your Yuffine is, the better. You want your Yuffine to be able to like one-shot the trash mob so it goes a little quicker. But this is giga fast. The whole thing is probably going to take about 45 minutes to go through and kill all of the monsters. So make sure you got something to do while you have your game, your computer, your phone up on the side. Make sure you got something else to do to occupy your time. Now I know that's a big commitment, it's 40 minutes, but what do you get out of it? You get 1,000 plus ancient coins for one lab token entry. You get enough lab token entries that you'll be able to do this 4 or 5 times per month easy and not have to buy extra lab compasses. So all you have to do is do this once or twice a month, and you will probably never run out of ring and neck charms because you'll get so many ancient coins to do it. So there you go. If you've got Yuffine, Rin, and Shooting Star Arcades, and everybody's got Christie, you've got the tools you need to get unlimited ancient coins, and unlimited ancient coins basically means unlimited ring and neck charms, and that's why I never run out of ring and neck charms. I'm always able to upgrade those when I need them. And charms are so important right now. What defines how many ancient coins we take? It's just how many things you kill. How many monsters you kill. And since Yuffine is now legitimately unkillable, she can kill every single thing on this floor. Even this boss down here, which if you don't have immunity, if you didn't have the Bastion artifact to give her immunity, or just have her on immunity set in general, you can always just put her on immunity set in general and not worry about the Bastion artifact. Then you can do this boss. If you don't have immunity on her, then you don't want to do the boss in this corner because he can stun you and it'll add upwards of an hour to your run. trying to get out of that stall. Yeah, it's varies, right? It's as low as 1,000. It's as high as 1,200. The amount of currency you get varies because of the chests that you open when you walk through. So when you open a gold chest, sometimes the ancient coins pop out of it. That's a thing. This is the fight that you do not want to do without immunity because, man, you get stunned on this from that hit right there. You notice it said immune instead of resist. That's what keeps you going. If I wasn't immune when the boss S3s, he stuns you, and then you're stuck until she takes a turn. And look how slow she's moving down the CR bar. If she's stunned, she can't counter. So you just sit here watching her crawl down the CR bar, hoping that when she eventually does get down here and takes a turn, that the boss doesn't S3 and stun her again. It's awful. So do not touch this boss unless you have immunity. Either from the Bastion artifact or just naturally having immunity on her. We'll start here down at the beginning and walk our way through the entire labyrinth. Yeah, you can't even Archie because you just don't get to take a turn. El's Fist boosts her damage so much. Yeah, I've got her on Ancient Sheath. You put her on El's Fist, it's even better. Or no, you put El's Fist. Yeah, El's Fist would work great on her. She has 0 health. Holy crap. Sigurd's Scythe legitimately lets her do a ton of damage because she eventually will, her health will go down from being attacked, and then Sigurd's Scythe procs and she nukes something. But I mean, as long as you're one-shotting these trash mobs, it's going to be a lot faster. If you're not one-shotting the trash mobs, it still works. It just takes longer because you have to hit the mobs twice instead of once. Now, there is one fight you're probably going to be a little concerned about, right? There's one fight. It's over here. Oops. Hang on. Got to kill these majestic flaps first. The first time I did this, I cleared the entire labyrinth. And I did this fight last. And I was in a panic about it because I thought I had screwed myself over, right? This stupid mushroom. I think you'll see why here in just a minute, right? You tried El's Fist, but it also gives speed, so you lost your buffs. You won't lose your buffs if you go fight the Lich first. The speed buff isn't enough to matter. The Lich takes so long, you will definitely get all of your stuff up, and you won't be able to outspeed your buffs. Oh, look, the mushroom killed itself. Wait, it's back at full health. Well, that's okay. We'll just kill the mushroom again. Easy. Mushroom's almost dead. Oh, wait, mushroom's dead. And it's back at full health. I legit thought I had screwed up my entire run and that I was trapped here for eternity. I was so mad. I was ready to, like, flip my table. But it turns out that the mushroom only comes back a certain number of times, so just wait it out, and the mushroom eventually dies and doesn't come back. I think it's 5 times, isn't it? Nope. Maybe it's 6 times. And done. So yeah, it was a little bit dodgy there for a while, but even this mushroom you can solo with Yuffine. So does anybody have any questions about how this is working? Oh, was it 7? I miscounted. It needs debuffs to kill. What's the difference between this vid and the last one? Just mostly the gearing, talking about the ability to use immunity to allow you to kill that last boss. So we use the tech of putting Bastion of Perlucia on Christie to make sure that Yuffine has immunity. That way you can full clear everything. There's no boss that you have to avoid or skip anymore. You can do the entire floor. Talking about having your skills off and killing the first boss or the first group of mobs by yourself with your skills off to get enough souls so you can soul burn Arky. Going over how the importance of making sure that the boss has 2 turns of counter buff on it when you steal it. I had at least 2 people DM me saying they thought that Smilegate had patched this because when they were stealing the buff, she would lose it when she left the fight, so they thought it had been patched because she was only getting a 1-turn counter buff. And it's because they were the boss was taking a turn and then they were stealing it, and it no longer had 2 turns on it. So showing people how to hit the mobs to CR manipulate the bee so you can control movement and placement of the bee to make it easier to steal the buffs when there's 2 buffs. We discovered doing this, and it'll definitely be in the guide, that if you hit the blue mobs, they get an ignore ER provoke, which can brick your run. So we went over that as well. So, you know, just going into a little more detail and refining it to try to make it a little bit easier. But the bones of it are still the same. Oh, and also we're only running 150 effect resistance. To the half dozen people who argued with me tooth and nail over you don't need 200 150s enough, I acquiesce. You were right. I was wrong. It happens all the time. Just ask my wife. It does look like you only need 150 ER, which lowers the ceiling of the ER a lot more. You could pretty much run the most scuffed Christie in the world and put an ER ring on Yuffine and still pull it off. I think that's about it. I think that's all we covered. Oh, and re-emphasize that you need her #1 EE. That without that EE, this doesn't work. You need the debuff extension EE. That's what makes Yuffine work in this. You can do this in the Asmakalis lab. There is 1 boss with an ignore ER. Sorry, there's 2 bosses. There's 2 bosses with an ignore ER strip. So what you want to do is you want to make a beeline for one of those bosses. You kill it. Then you go and you set up the buffs. Then you do the entire labyrinth and you get to that last boss and then you attack it and die. And then you use your free revive and you camp, getting your morale low enough where you can use your full team to kill that boss. And you can full on clear the entire thing in 1 entry. I believe I have a video on that. Let me look here. Yeah, that's in 5 entries. It's under Yuffine. Yuffiner. Hell Raid, 1 entry. Royal City Asmakalis. Big time seizure alert because I do like a lot of the stuff in 1 entry, but yeah, that's the whole and the sum of it is you got to go in and so you got to walk your ass all the way down to Carcanis, I think. You kill Carcanis with the normal team, and then I think Vera. I guess it's Juleeve. Looks like it's Juleeve. Although the ads heal him, the ads don't heal him fast enough, and her counters make pretty quick work, especially when she's stuck. There's the Devourer, right? Then you walk all the way back down to Juleeve. Except for Juleeve. You let Juleeve kill you, right? Juleeve Council got to the first split phase right here. And as you can see, as soon as Yuffine took a turn, the ads stripped, and of course they stripped her immortal first. And once her immortal was gone, she died. Okay. So she dies, but she used the free retry. And when you do the free retry,
In one hit.
you camp, and it brings everybody back.
Usually using Ed.
And because you camped, you have enough morale to do it for real with the team. So it works just fine. Now the in this one though, I think I'm doing it with a counter set, aren't I? Yeah, this is what makes it so awful. There's nothing in Asmakalis. Oh, hang on, let me restart this again. There's nothing in Asmakalis that has a counter buff. You can't steal the counter buff from anybody in Asmakalis. So you've got to do it with a counter set. So it's mind-bogglingly slower. Instead of countering every single attack, you're countering when Yuffine's counterattack procs. It makes it harder to stack up the skills, and it makes it take a lot heckin' longer. That's the whole reason we do this in Nixied, is you don't need a counter set. You just do it with a counter buff. Now there's bosses in Asmakalis that do have a counter buff on them, but it can't be stolen. It's an unstealable counter buff. As to whether or not it pays out more,
The visual representation and maybe pick up some artifact charms every now and again.
pays out ever so slightly more. $12.79. I think I get about 1,100 from Nixied. And Nixied is significantly faster because you don't have to manual any bosses except the setup boss. And you don't have to rely on counter set to get your counters. You're relying on a counter buff to get your counters. You can do it with Blue Dominial's buff. What's Blue Dominial's buff? Oh, with, oh, that's fun. Yeah, Reflect. Because she'll never die. I would have to put 200 ER on her to get rid of Christie and replace her with Blue Dominial. I'm not sure I'm quite willing to try to jam 100 or 150 ER. I guess if you just organically get 150 ER and you don't use Christie, then you could do it with Dominial. That would be fun. That's pretty cool, Otaku. I like that. I'll mention that for people that have like got the gear to pull it off, got the gear to dedicate. You put a 150 ER on her. No, you don't need Rin if you're doing it with Dom, you don't need Rin. Because you don't need to counter. You're just letting... How fast is it? Is it enough to chew through all the bosses? I wonder if the Reflect is enough to chew through all of the bosses, and then you don't counter. She just stands there and reflects damage back at them. I mean, there's no way it's faster. I mean, look at that. Freaking 11k damage off of an S1. 10k damage. And they're doing like, what, 3,500 when they attack? 5k? And Reflect sends what percentage of that back? No, I think you would want Reflect and the counter. I think if you tried to do it without Reflect, I think if you tried to do it with just Reflect, you turn this from a 1 hour or 45 minute to an hour run to probably a 3 or 4 hour run. Oh, Kevin's got a good point. How do you extend it? If she doesn't counter, how are you extending her buffs? She's got an S1 to extend. Yeah. No. It is not a replacement. You still need Rin. You still got to steal the counter buff. What you're doing is you're replacing Christie with Dominial to get that buff on there, which means you're organically shoving 150 ER on your Yuffine, which means you're hitting a lot harder, or sorry, a lot less hard, and I think you're hitting so much lighter that it's going to make the damage bonus you get from Reflect kind of I think it's a bad trade. I think you're going to be giving up so much damage on her attack just to get a little bit of a boost from Reflect. Nah. I love it. I love the idea. It's a great tech, but I don't think I would do it. Except in Asmakalis. If you're going to do this for Royal City Asmakalis raid, that would speed it up a little bit because you don't need Rin there because you're not stealing anything. Well, if you don't want to use Bastion, you don't want to use immunity, what you can do is instead of walking over and full autoing that first mob, is you teleport to the... Right, you teleport to this spot, and then you walk this way, and you fight these 3 mobs and kill this boss organically, normally, and then you teleport back and go and set your team up. But that's 3 fights instead of 1. You'll definitely get the souls, but if you botch this, it's just a longer time to do this and reset it. We're already up to 462 coins just with what we've done so far. A lot of people feel like this is a waste of time, but if you don't have artifact charms, it's worth an hour out of your time every week for a month. That's like 5,000 ancient coins if you do it once a week for a month. So, like I said, you do this while you're doing other things. You do this while you're watching TV, because you just have to look up to walk her between fights. And once she gets into a fight, you can go back to doing something else. You can go back to working on that project at work. You can go back to watching that anime. You can go back to reading chat. But it's semi-AFK stuff, and I think it's worth doing. No Christie would mean Yuffine hits less hard. Why? Because you've got to put 150 ER on her, which means you're probably going with an ER ring instead of an attack ring. You're probably not building her nearly as much damage because you're stacking ER stats onto her to get her to the 150 ER. So, if you're able to build the same level of damage on Yuffine, if you're able to build a Yuffine who can still one-shot the mobs, then sure, definitely do it. But you're going to have to allocate a lot better gear to get a Yuffine that's going to naturally have that ER and be able to do that kind of damage. If you can do that, 100%, you're totally right, Utaku, and it's better. I'm just saying that's a big ask for gear. My Yuffine's literally on like some crappy jank attack set with 7 effect resistance that let me really stack up her damage because all the rest of the ER comes from Christie. I would have to give up a lot of stats to put the ER on her and get rid of Christie. Except that when Lua dies, that effect will go away. Yeah, it's not. Christie is one of the few units where the effect persists after death. And unfortunately, there's no way to keep Lua alive. No, you get attack buff plenty of places. She can even self attack buff. Yep. I'll put this guide up probably tomorrow morning. Give you guys a way to do it. I think it's worth doing because it's so hands off. Because you literally do anything else while it's happening. What are you witnessing? You're witnessing one of the oldest and most classic cheeses in the game. Yuffine soloing Nixied Sanctum 5. For all the people out there who say, I am running low on charms, I can't level up rings and necks, this is how you do it. Let's see. Got all this cleared. Let's get this over here. What's up, Josh? The Lich can steal all your buffs unless you are immune. I'm sorry, unless you have the 150 ER. Then he can't steal the buffs. And then that one boss that I showed, that boss can stun you, which is why you want the immunity. As long as you got the 150 ER, the Lich can't steal your buffs, and as long as you have immunity, you know, where is it? This guy will steal all your buffs. So you need the ER to stop that from happening. And this boss will practically perma-stun you, forcing you to basically just yield and reset the whole thing, which feels so bad after you spend all the time in it, unless you have immunity. Let's see. It's gonna bother me if there's a fight there. I gotta go look. Nope, there was no fight there. We're covering a lot of things in this video that were not covered in the old video to try to make it a little bit more understandable. There's a lot of people who seem to have been struggling with some of the concepts. So I spent a little bit more time going into how to set up, why the units have the stats, how to min-max it, correcting some information, adding some other information like the blue bosses ignore ER provoking, how to make sure the boss has 2 buffs, how to control CR manipulation in the fight so that you can make sure the boss takes a turn when you want it to take a turn, so that you can make sure that you steal the buff when it's appropriate, all this stuff to make it cleaner. Would you say between this and usually for a Saint, you don't need to worry about charms again? Yeah, that's a safe assessment. Except for artifact charms. How's the Mola investment for Yuffine? She's +5 on her S1 just because... Alright, she's +5 on her S1, but she doesn't need any. She doesn't need any Mola anywhere. If you're going to put Mola in her at all, just +5 her S1 for additional damage, but it's not required. She never uses her other skills except during the setup fight. I like it that she has enough damage when she S1s the adds, she one-shots him. Watch this. See this? She gets hit. Dead add. This one hits. Dead add. Now, if you don't have the Mola or the gear to one-shot, it just means she has to hit him twice, which just means it'll take a little bit longer to clear. So it's only gonna save you time on it. Will I delete my old video? I'll probably just change the title of the old video to say, check the new video with a link. I don't like deleting videos that have that many views on them and that were that consistent. It messes with the search metrics, but instead I'll just change the title to say, new video, check link in description, and guide people to the new one. That way, the algorithm will still provide that one when people search it, but it'll point them in the direction of the updated video. And the old video is still accurate. It's just this one has a lot more information. Can light Acades give a counter buff on a random S3 buff? I don't believe so. I'd have to look at the tree, but I don't think counter buff is in there. Clear all that, all that, all that. We just got to go up the middle and then clean up this top section. And when you finally buy out the whole arena shop, you can be a lazy bastard like myself and use high command on Sanctuary and double down on ancient coins. Yeah, I'm probably going to shift my Sanctuary back to ancient coins. Right now I'm doubling down on the what do they call them? The arena shop currency. Anyway, I'm doubling down on those because I run out of those more. Conquest points, thank you. We're up to 600 ancient coins so far on the farm. Hey, look! A bookmark. Totally worth. It's a way to farm bookmarks. Nah, it's just too much of a pain in the ass to set up Deshaun. I just put her on a DPS already. Who else is going to use this Ancient Sheath? I don't use Terranor Guard anymore. People are saying L's Fist, it's like a truck too, if you want to run that one. What's up, Fire First? I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. Doing the boring content. Can't believe 105 of you are sitting here watching me chew through Labyrinth on full auto, but hey, whatever floats your boat. You might be able to use Dominial if you run Elena instead of Acades. Yikes. Elena is so hard to set up for this show because you only get a one-turn gold shield, so you pretty much have to line it up in such a way that she counters during the fight. That's what Evan Dariel did for the longest time. He used Elena for it, but man, that's a tall order. Are you excited for tomorrow? What do you think? Collab or no way? I think a collab's coming. I think the fact that they announced Schneel is probably pushed the collab back about 4 weeks. They won't release a unit and then overshadow it with a collab. It's very, very unlikely. So I think we got Schneel, maybe some other new content. I hope we get some, a nice info drop soon. We'll talk about it during the podcast, but probably means that a collab's being pushed into December. Thanks, Aeonics. Podcast when? Wednesday after maintenance. As soon as maintenance goes live, we do a podcast. Just tinfoil hat at work, Haddad. Or Hada, sorry. It's every year, with the exception of 2023, we've gotten at least 2 collabs per year. A spring one and an autumn one. First, second quarter, and then third, fourth quarter. And it seemed like they're back on track with Overlord, so I was kind of expecting one to be revealed by now. The fact that we haven't got it yet is a little disconcerting, but I still feel like one's coming. Same place you are right now. We do it on Twitch, and we cross-stream it onto YouTube. Last time we had a Deity on, we skipped it last time because I was on vacation. So, I don't know, maybe we'll, I'll see if I can reach out to Valky, see if he would be interested in doing it. I want to get somebody that knows a good chunk about, RTA to talk about, Lua and her potential there, and hopefully Schneel, we get to see more of his kit. Your money's on a ReZero collab rerun. I would take that bet because I think there is no chance it'll be a rerun. Helua. Have we collectively decided on a name for Lua yet? What teams do I mostly use or feel fits my style? If you're talking about RTA, I mostly use BBK and just cleave. But I can play just about any style. I've got all the units and I know how to play them. But I just don't play RTA a whole bunch. As far as PvE, my style is whatever it takes to beat the fight. Just call her Hellion and be done with it. Helua is just hard to say. I don't know. I like Hellion. How are we on ancient coins now? Up to 802 ancient coins. Pink Lua. I don't think anybody's going to call her Pink Lua. Hey, Baka, did you hear how Divine answered the trivia question of what was Sirmia's last name? Hey, no worries, man. Yeah, they asked Divine what Sirmia's last name was, and he paused for a second, and then he said what sounded like a random name, and he said, because that's my last name, and she's my wife. Like, I hope they gave him points for that. Yep. Does anybody here know Sirmia's last name? Anybody? I'll tell you what. Byako doesn't count because he knows the answer. But, first one of you guys to tell me what Sirmia's real name is. I'll send you this killer keychain that's got Luna, or sorry, it's got Luna and FCC on it. First person, YouTube or Twitch. First person that types Sirmia's last name. Everyone's Googling it right now. Hey, Hada got it. Hada says definitely didn't Google it. That's right. Of all things, Sirmia Ranka. Ugh. Somebody marry that girl quick. That last name is tragic. Hada, shoot me a DM in Discord with your address, and I'll mail you. I'll mail you your keychain if you want it. That's fine. It's little. It'll fit like in an envelope. It'll cost me all of like $3 or $4 to send it to you. If you don't want it, that's fine. I'll just give it to, you know, I got a whole bunch of things like this, so I'll do some giveaway stuff later on. Ooh. In honor of the labyrinth fight. Tristen got the wrong one winning. I did? Ain't no way somebody said Ranka before him. Where? Odyssey. Oh my god! I did miss it! Aelkisu! Oh hell. I'm so sorry, Aelkisu. Join my Discord. And shoot me a DM with your address, and I will send you this keychain. And I apologize, man. He did say it first. Do I know a good way to use Green Shroon? I pulled her randomly. I mean, DDR just kind of stole her job. Piako says, yeah, put her in storage. Wait for her buff. Let's see. Okay, we cleared this middle area. Let's finish off over here. Yeah, counter set is pretty much it, unfortunately. Hey, Kisu, make sure you shoot me that DM if you want this keychain. You use her for Rift? Use her for Rift? Ow. Explain, Vicious. I'm very curious. Ray, Vivian, and Bologna. You're tanking with her, or you're tanking with Ray? How many turns to clear, Vicious? I've never heard of her being used there before. It's crazy. Ooh, that's a tough one, Sathina. Do you pick up mod gems that you know you'll get to use, or do you pick up your ML Elson? But it might also be a 5-star. That's a real tough call. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would still go for it. I think I would still go for the chance, because if you don't get it, you're always going to be wondering. I think I'd go for the summon. Oh, you're welcome, Raphael. Glad it worked out. We're over 1,000 ancient coins, guys. Gunther was my very first ML5, and my very first ML unit, and I was so salty about it. Everyone else was getting really good units, A-Lots and C-Dom, and all of the really, the units everybody wanted, and I got a freaking Gunther. I swore one day I was going to make the best Gunther in the game and wreck people, and there was a very, very small period of time right after Lilius's buffs where Lilius and Gunther on Guild War defense was crazy, and I just got so many ancient coins from my Gunther defense. It's probably why I was able to pull an ML5 off of Mystics, so I guess in a roundabout sort of way, Gunther eventually worked out for me. My first ML5 was Fallen Cecilia. I got her 13 months into the game. It took me 13 months to get my first ML5. This is back before there was any ways to get your ML5s. There was no, what do you call it? Moonlight connections or anything like that. Do the ads respawn once you leave? Once you actually leave, not just yield, but actually leave, the mods will respawn. So you could do this as many times a day as you've got currency. If you wanted to just sit there and make a day out of it, you could do this 5 times and then buy additional currency from the shop and stuff. You could just do it all day long if you wanted to do it. Just pick a day and get it over with. It's not like Nightmare Raid where the mobs stay dead until monthly reset. It's every time you leave, the mobs respawn and reset. Suddenly my Ruel mistake pick isn't bad anymore, right? Nothing stays bad forever in this game. Okay. Okay, we have cleared everything. Yep, we've cleared everything. Okay, except for this spot here. Now, I can't teleport to this spot up here. This is something that wasn't in the other video. If you're ever trying to figure out how to get to a teleport node in Labyrinth, click on it. And when you click on it, the connecting node will glow. Okay, see how this glowed red? If I click on this one, that one glows red. These two are connected. If I click on this one glows red. So these two are connected. You want to teleport to this one? There you go. This one glows red. So you can actually see what nodes are connected to each other if you need to figure out how to get somewhere. This is something I wish somebody had showed me like 3 years ago, because it makes it so easy to move around. No more guessing and flailing around going, well, that wasn't it. Let's try this one. Well, that wasn't it. I don't know if this is a relatively recent change or if it's always been like that and I've just done it the hard way my entire life, but hopefully that helps you guys move around a little bit better. But this is going to be the end, guys. It was a long walk, but we finally got here. Big frog boss. Unfortunately, Cryptello, when the new unit dies, her passive dies with her, so, and she will be dead, so no, she couldn't be used here at all, unfortunately. We had somebody else who had the initial thought of, oh, well, Lua can replace the counter buffs. Like, yeah, but then Lua dies, and then you don't counter anymore. And unfortunately, you can't keep both of them immortal forever because Lua's got no way to extend the buffs. Tough turtles took 2 hits each. I thought it was just a passive, not a buff. I thought it was just an effect. If she gives a counter buff, then yeah. Suddenly we can farm, we'll stop farming Nixied and start farming, Asmakalis for more coins. One last check. She gives a buff, but it only procs if she gets hit. It might be tough to line up, but I wonder if we could. Put her in place of Rin. How often does it proc? She's like reverse Arya. Is it a 1-turn buff or a 2-turn? Is it a 1-turn buff or a 2-turn? It's only 1 turn and it only procs once. God no, it's almost impossible. You'd have to get Yuffine to counter to extend it during the fight so that she could maintain. It would be like threading a needle during an earthquake. Ain't no way. Okay, so we do one last look to make sure we got everywhere. Everywhere is explored. All the bosses are dead. All taken care of by Yuffine. So we just pick a random teleport portal and exit. And after all that work, we walk away with 1,125 ancient coins. And a whole bunch of gear to sell. Man, there's no select all button. Just do this outside. Good chunk of powder and gold from doing it as well. Not enough for that to be worth farming it, but hey, powder and gold. And now that we've done and we walked away with our 1,600 coins, we went from 9,000 to 10,000 coins. We can go right back in and all the mobs are back and you can do it again. As many times as you want, as much as you have lab compasses over and over and over again until you have all the ancient coins you need to buy all of the charms that you need to do this. So I hope that helps you guys out. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you guys have a great rest of your week. Whew. Man, that was a long-ass video. We'll chop like the bulk of that out. Anybody have any questions about how this works? Or anything else you're curious about? What's this, Shiro? Or Shio? What do you got? After attacked by a hero, increase the combat readiness and grants all allies with challenge counterattack. Grant challenge to all allies. Undispellable. It won't work. You know why it won't work? It won't work because you can't extend undispellable buffs. I bet you money it won't work because you can't extend it. Not true? You sure? You're right. You're right. And you're right. And when you're right, you're right. But it dispels after the effect is activated. So you can't extend it because it's just going to go away as soon as somebody hits her and she counters, and then the buff will go away. Right? It doesn't have a cooldown, but it dispels after the effect activates. So as soon as somebody attacks Yuffine, she's going to counter, and then challenge disappears. Is that how I'm reading it? Because that's what it looks like to me. Yeah. So it won't work. Sorry, guys. Ain't going to work. But it was a lovely thought. Rare. Whew. That was a lot. God damn, I'm hungry. It's 3 o'clock. You guys want to see anything real quick? Because I'm going to go get some food. And then I'll post this video up for you. Hey brother, hope as well. You're going to make a video on kit overview and whether to pull for ML Lua. We'll probably discuss that heavily during the podcast, and I'll turn that into a video. My knee-jerk reaction is no. You don't pull for her. You totally save your mystics for what's coming next. And if by week 2 she proves us wrong and becomes the most broken meta thing ever, then you go ahead and pick her up. But just looking at her kit, she looks like she's a lot of fun. She looks like she'll be an enjoyable unit to play, and she looks like she does not fit well into the meta and probably won't work. Podcast when? 11 p.m. Eastern, or I guess now it's 10 p.m. Eastern time, Wednesday. Basically when the game goes into maintenance, our podcast will start. We always do a podcast during maintenance. But yeah, just looking at her kit, I'm not seeing her being giga meta right now, but could be wrong. I'll pick her up, but I'm swimming in mystics right now, so I'll pick her up. But if it's between picking her up and the potential broken monstrosity that could come next, I think I'd wait. Let's see. Says this one. Yes, exactly, Kyle. People said that Landy wasn't going to be very good on release. People said that Yuffine looked like she needed a buff to be viable, and those units were terrors. So on paper, she doesn't look that good, but we've been very wrong before. The important thing I think to do is, we've been wrong before, but we've also been very right before, right? So the important thing is to wait and see. Let the whales test her out and play with her and see if she is impactful in the game. See if you have the gear to build her and if she's going to be amazing or not. And if she is, then pull her. Her banner is 3 weeks long. Give it a week or two, and then make an informed decision. There's certain units, like Harsetti's kit was revealed. Well, duh, she was a must pull. Nobody looked at that kit and thought, I don't think she's that good. I shouldn't say that. There are people that thought Flan's buffs were nerfs, so I'm sure there's people out there that thought Harsetti wasn't good, but 99% of us knew that Harsetti was going to be broken and was kind of a must pull. Nobody's feeling that with Lua right yet. So let some people test her out first. What am I doing here? I am burning, and let's hurt you. You want to see Sez build, not him in action? Sure, I'll show you Sez here in just a second. Where'd I get my hat? At a Halloween store. Burn. Everybody say bye to Flan. Bye, Flan. Holy shit. I didn't even need the curse. I just hit her. How far up did you push? Not far enough. Good. Everyone say bye, Harsetti. Oh, so good. Everyone say bye, Ruel. I'm not sure, man. AoE block, I think that would have been worse. As bad as Harsetti is, I think AoE block would have been a disaster. It's crazy how Melissa is like totally meta in Arena now. Makes me so happy. I loved using Melissa back in the day, and then they buffed her and nerfed her out of the game. Kind of like they buffed A-Lots. You guys excited for all of the PvP and RTA uses we're seeing A-Lots being used in nowadays? This is my Sez. I put him on Wind Rider because he is getting an attack buff from what was that? Oh, sorry. He's getting an attack buff from fuck. Stunlock. Child Girl. Frida. Kept wanting to call her Ida. Since he's getting the attack buff from Frida, otherwise, if you're running her without Frida, then you want to put him on Alexa's Basket, because he really needs that attack buff to blow things up. Torrent not pen set on Sez, because he always kills with his S3 even without pen set, and the Torrent just lets him do a little more damage, and it's just the gear that I had to get the stats that I wanted. And Melissa is probably the hardest one to build, I think. A little bit of speed, whole lot of damage. I am 4 attack away. One day I will mod these up. These could go all the way up to 58. So I could get my 4 attack there. Melissa, the best EE I think is her number 3 EE, so she self-attack buffs, but since I'm running her with Frida, I've been running Manifestation for more damage on the S2. But she gets a 2-turn, then she does this, and her attack buff's gone. If she's on this artifact, she could do this, and she still has 1 turn of attack buff left, which means she gets 1 more S2 off with attack buff. So you kind of got to balance it. Do you want attack buff for 3 turns? Go with this. But if you're struggling killing, I would rather have attack buff for 2 turns and get the kill than have attack buff for 3 turns and still not have killed on my 2nd turn. So I've been liking. I switched to this recently. You can see I got both of them, and I switched to this one recently to see if it's more consistent for me. And so far, it's been a little bit more consistent for me. Hang on, I got something for you, Death Pod. Give me a second. I have a feeling you'll appreciate this. All right, guys. Is my Melissa on speed and pen? My Melissa is on destruction and pen set. But speed and pen would work fine too. Speed would work fine too. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up and go find lunch because god damn, I'm hungry. Go have fun with Vic Chun. I will catch you guys next time. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one, everybody.